Sports.
Forgot the.
Welcome to Whole Lot of Wolves, episode 24 of season 6. I'm your host, Joshua Buckley, with co-host Danny Paletti.
Good evening.
And joining us from the early days of Whole Lot of Wolves, our man in New England, Mr. Ryan Gray. How's it going, Ryan?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good. Has this season been as much of a chore watching for you as it has for us?
Yeah, just a bit.
But you've been through the bad days too, so
this isn't bad. This isn't the bad days. It might be bad for everybody at the moment, and it's bad for Callum at the minute, but it's been worse for sure.
Oh, see, that's what I'm a little worried about. It
could how many times this season have you done the Simpsons line to him? You know, the worst Wolves game you've seen so far.
Yeah. I mean, this one was pretty close to it, to be fair. But no, it's it's been a tough watch, but it's as I said, it's not anything like I haven't seen before.
Well, it was kind of the same old on Saturday with Chelsea taking a 3-1 win against Wolves. Yeah, I had said last week I thought Wolves deserved better than they got this one. No, they deserved what they got, and that was 0 points. Just really an awful performance. It kind of started with the formation, Danny, because I thought it was good to see Armstrong and Angel Gomez in there right away, but it was a back four, and we just don't seem to be able to handle a back four.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know. It's weird because we were really on top for the first, 20 minutes or so. On top maybe is too strong, but we looked okay and we were creating some chances. I think that kind of surprised us all against a Chelsea team that have been pretty good this season. But yeah, I don't know. There was something I think a bit weird about it. If Krejci was healthy, which he came in, so he must have been. To change it up so drastically, as well as having two players whose first training session was on a Tuesday. That said, I don't know that I blame the back four for the final scoreline that much. I mean, two of the goals that they scored were from completely insane penalties that we gave away. And I don't know that whether it's a back 4 or 5, that doesn't happen. So
what do you think, Ryan? I know for me, having just followed Wolves, right, when they came back to the Premier League, anytime they've tried to go to a back four, it's been a disaster. When can you remember the last time a back four working for Wolves?
It's funny. I actually tweeted Liam Keane for the Express and Star podcast about it the other day, and it was before Nuno was the last time that we had a back four, so it's got to be 7-8 years since we've played with a back four. So it would have been who was before Nuno? Was it Lambert? Was Paul Lambert before Nuno, and that was a back four? So I mean, that didn't work under Paul Lambert, to be fair. But it's honestly been so long since we've played with a back four. And how many managers have tried to change it? O'Neill tried to change it, right? At some stage. Bruno Lage tried to change it at some stage. And none of them can do it. So I don't understand. It's something ingrained in the club since the Nuno days that we can only play in a back three. And I was
that's why I was wondering, is there something in the English bylaws that say the Wolves cannot have success unless they're in a back three or a back five?
Well, that's it. I was always brought up with the game where if you played a back three, you were playing in a back three because you were, and this year we are, you're the worst team and you need to kind of like play with more defenders, which we are this year. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but we haven't been over that period of time, and we've had some really good players, but we just can't seem to fathom playing two at the back, and there's not many players, and especially with our recruitment over the last few years, there's not many players playing for around the world that are like a back three specialist. So we're obviously converting these players into a back three specialist, and now they can't go into a back four. So we just kill defenders when they come and play for us. So
Wolves ruining defenders since God knows how long.
yeah, seems like it. Space jamming them.
Yeah. So, Danny, you mentioned the two just absolutely absurd penalties where first one, Doc lost his mind. Second one, Mosquera lost his mind. Which was the worst of the two fouls that led to the penalty?
God, I don't know. They're as bad as each other. I could go back and forth, to be honest. They're both bad because, and just in the same way that it's just extremely naive. And you expect more, especially from Doc. So maybe that feels like the worst because he ought to know better. And on a team that is at times completely bereft of leadership, he's one of the few that we have a hope that can, lead this team to any kind of victory in the league. And it's just like, yeah, it's a little soft, but also João Pedro is facing away from the goal. He's right on the edge of the box. He's absolutely zero danger. What are we doing? I guess the only thing you could say about Yersin's push is that it was maybe outside of the box. And it seems strange that they didn't even quite check it, but I mean, not really complaining about it in terms of the final result. But it's just stupid. I mean, but we also know that that's kind of what you get out of Yersin Mosquera sometimes. But it's just like, I don't know. I saw it in real time and thought, oh, maybe like that's probably going to get upheld and whatever. And then they showed the replay. I was like, 100% is going to get upheld. You can see him extending his arms. It's one thing if it's like you're sprinting at a person, you're trying to slow yourself down. You put your hands up, to brace yourself so you don't run into their back. It's just nothing like that at all. He just extends his arms, whether it's right on the edge of the box or just outside or whatever. You're giving him a decision to make, and it's so utterly risky. And again, like, you're at the corner of the box. He's not like imminently going to take a shot. It was just so self-inflicted.
I mean, I got to figure part of Doc's thing is you asked him to play a back four this time, like right back in a back four, which is absurd as well. What do you think when Doc saw the team sheet and saw he was playing right back, Ryan? What do you think his first words were?
Yeah. But oh my god, no. Well, he's even said himself that like he's not. He can't
he's
be
like,
a
I'm
full.
not a
He
right
can't be a
back anymore.
fullback at 34 in the Premier League, and his legs have obviously clearly gone. Like he can't do it. And if he plays on the outside of a back three protected, right? Because he's got a wing back in front of him and he's got two of the defenders next to him, but he's clearly said he can't play as a fullback in the Premier League anymore. And I don't know. We ain't got any players left to play there anyway because we've sold everybody. So I don't know. It's an interesting decision. I'm sure he's kind of like. I'm not saying that like he was our captain this past weekend and he's been one of our longest serving players at the club, but as his legs are gone. He can't do it anymore. Clearly.
Do you think he'll still be with the squad next year in the championship?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't be surprised if he just calls it a day at the end of this season or goes like back home to Ireland or something.
How would you feel if he was in the squad next season?
If we're having to rely on Matt Doherty to get back into the Premier League, then we're not getting back into the Premier League.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're because if he can't play right back, he hasn't got the legs to play right back anymore in the Premier League. How's he going to play 46 games in the Championship?
Yeah,
play Saturday, Tuesday for a season. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, It's just so frustrating. It's kind of like I've said in the past about just it's not just the squad that they assembled this past summer and previous windows. It's also the constant lack of future planning. That Matt Doherty has always been a really good player for our club. I think he's like really shown himself to be so reliable over the years. But I think that like you can see even in those heydays of the Nuno era that he's not really the most natural leader. He and he's I think been thrust into it this season. I think he's like done a very admirable job in a lot of ways. But it's just like again, it's like we're sort of hanging our hopes on a person who's like not really a natural right back anymore because of his age, not really a natural leader. And it's just like we constantly have to step down our expectations for this team because of the lack of any kind of planning. It's the same thing when we went through that summer with Bruno Lage where they let go so many leaders in the team. It's like, that's fine. A lot of those players, Cody, Ruddy, Saiss, Bali, they were all, nearing an older age. And if you wanted to upgrade on them, no complaints from me. But like to just think you're going to get rid of a huge portion of the leadership of the team and not do anything about that. And how many years ago was that now? I mean, God, where are we?
So Wolves were probably toast at that point, but Cole Palmer definitely put it away there with his third goal when it went in. Now, Ryan, the World Cup's coming up, and this is where stars are made, right? Really, nationally, worldwide. And Cole Palmer, I think in the EPL, he's a certified star, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I don't think he's ever going to be a worldwide star until he changes his image some. And I'm talking about his looks, guys. I just got to be fair. There's a reason that Beckham and Mbappe and Cristiano are in there. They're handsome guys. If you were his PR person, what would you have Cole Palmer fix first? His nose, his teeth, or his haircut?
All right, Ryan, I'm going to put you on the big screen for your answer about Cole Palmer's image.
Jesus Christ! I mean, we're not known for our teeth, are we? Back home in England, so I don't know. He's an unbelievable player, isn't he? And he's just not that player that he's worried about his image at all, and he's all about his football. He's just he's just obsessed with the game, which you can tell if you've heard some of his interviews, but. Yeah, he's certainly not a Beckham, is he? To be fair, or if you're going for looks and you've got Jude Bellingham or Grealish, I don't think Palmer's going to win any beauty contests, is he?
But would you agree with me that when it comes to the World Cup, like teams usually put out obviously their best players, but some of their best looking guys as well?
I don't think I've ever thought of it like that. To be fair, no, I wouldn't. I would
Name
never
a
have
few,
made
John.
If that was the case, I would never have played the game before in my life either.
Yeah, I mean, we got Beckham, we got Ronaldo. If Ronaldo looked like Cole Palmer at this point in his career, would there still be the immense hype with him?
If he was doing what Ronaldo was doing, then yeah.
But
if you look at some pictures of Ronaldo when he was 17,
does anybody know what he's doing? He's pouting right now, but it's like, oh, he still has 80 gazillion Instagram followers because he's
Ronaldo didn't always look like that.
That's true, and that's what I'm saying. He had a guy. It's like Hector Herrera. You look at Hector Herrera originally. And I was talking. This was when I was Uber driving in Houston, and some of the Mexican fans would tell us like Hector Herrera was the ugly son of a bitch until he got a nose job.
Don't think I can't say that's ever been across my mind. I just want if he scores the penalty for England to win the World Cup this year, then I could.
You don't even care about the haircut, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I bet somebody will get to him at that point though and say, "All right." You're about to get a lot of endorsement deals, but we got to fix this haircut.
Time to go to Turkey.
Yeah. And this is ways that I try and make a podcast on a 3-1 butt whooping entertaining, talking about Cole Palmer's haircut. Hey, but they didn't just roll over, Danny. I mean, Tolu got on the board and there was some fight in the second half. So Tolu now tied for the team lead with 2 goals. He's tied with Matthias Mane, Krejci, and of course Santi Bueno. What would you say? Who do you think? Is it going to be Tolu that finishes as the leading scorer?
Oh my God, I can't believe 2 of the people on that list are center backs.
I can. Have you seen us play?
And particularly the fact that Santi Bueno is on that list is.
Oh, I forgot Huang too. Huang is on that list with 2 goals.
Does he have 2? Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. One was a PK, I think, right?
Yeah. I think Tolu still feels like the most likely top goal scorer for the season. But I mean, who knows? It's anyone's to win at this point. And honestly, if there's, some sort of bonus, which often there is, tied to being top goal scorer for a season, they should all be licking their lips, because I mean, Adam Armstrong starts at 0 in January and he's still in with a shout. I mean, it's not impossible to imagine that he ends top goal scorer with like 4 goals or something.
So that's what Alex Patakis, our producer, told me to come up with. What are the odds I would set on Armstrong finishing the season as the leading scorer? I still think Tolu is a big favorite, probably at minus 250 or so. Mane, maybe a little closer. I'd have to say maybe Mane plus 150. But I would put Armstrong third on that list. Now, it's probably like a plus 300, plus 400, but he's definitely on the list. In fact, Armstrong is already tied for second on the team in assists. Did you realize?
We're so bad, aren't we?
Did you realize we only have 9 assists in the entire season?
Yeah.
9.
How's that even possible? How does that even make sense?
Moeller Wolf is the leader with 2, and didn't both of those come in one game?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah, so that means Armstrong is on 2 assists per 90 currently. It's not even worth including him in the stats because it won't mean anything.
That's what I call a great signing right there.
If he gets 1 assist per 90 for the rest of the season, do you think we stay up? So we're guaranteed 1 goal per game for the rest of the season.
Not if Mosquera's pushing people over at the back.
Are we still playing? Brutal. Angel Gomez looked pretty good in his debut. Go figure, somebody that wanted to move forward. And obviously Armstrong had a solid start. Ryan, how would you grade their performances?
Firstly, on Angel Gomez, if he plays for us in the Championship, I will be gobsmacked. I just I know he's coming a really low fee for the loan fee and a really low fee to buy him, but I think he's really good, and I think he's just in the shop window for 6 months personally.
Even with that option to buy.
Yeah, because we could buy him for, what is it, 6 million for the option to buy. Somebody comes in for 10 million for him, 12 million for him. I'm sure Wolves aren't going to say no. I think he's legit. I think he's really, really good. And he showed his quality. He showed his quality in the game this past weekend. And I think Armstrong, he's certainly not signed for the Premier League. Armstrong's been signed for next year. He'll work hard. He'll give us some stuff like he gave us a assist this weekend. But if you look at his Premier League record, it's not good. His goal scoring record in the Premier League, or he's got 6 goals in nearly 100 appearances or something in the Premier League. He's certainly been signed for next year. But I mean, if he can just give us something going forward, and if he can build a relationship with Tolu for next year, I always like a big man, little man up front, which always works well. So, that's kind of what we got to try and build for next year, really. But again, I would be very, very surprised if Angel Gomez is playing for us in the Championship next year.
Vitor Pereira goes, "What's this little man you talk of?
Yeah,
I didn't think you
exactly.
could get players under 6'1". That
Have you heard of a big man system?
All over the field.
Maybe that I'll use. I don't know. It just depends. See, you mentioned Angel Gomez, like if somebody came in for 10 to 12 million for Angel Gomez, if Wolves have bought him for 6. To me, like if you're a $12 million player, you should be playing in the championship. I don't know. I'm at the point where I know a lot of people are like, oh, Tolu's probably got. No, man, these guys have contracts. Like, and I know the agents get involved in everything, but I'm so sick of Wolves just like caving into these agents and these guys. Like, some of y'all, you got us in this spot. It's your job to bring us back up.
Yeah, I think if he was to stay in the Championship, I think he'd give us a much better chance to go up. Don't get me wrong. I think he'd probably be one of the best players in the league if he stayed with us next year. But if he has a really good last few games, there's going to be other clubs that are going to be sniffing around him straight away, and those obligations and those clauses that they do to bring him in can always change at the end of the season. So I wouldn't be surprised. We've been much better with our transfer policy this January, so I think we probably are buttoned up a little bit more than we would be under a certain Mr. Jeff Shee. But I still think if he has a good end to the season, that we might struggle to keep him.
I take your point, Ryan, especially he doesn't even, I think like some people listening might think like, oh, he's going to light it up at part of this back half of the season. And, some bigger team is going to come in for him, but it doesn't even have to be that. I mean, we've seen West Ham spend stupid money, and you imagine if they stay up coming in 14th, in 17th, and just like, and just decide like, oh yeah, we'll give you 20 million. Like, are Wolves really going to say no to that after paying 6 million? Probably not.
Well, Crystal Palace paid 48 million for a striker that scored 1 goal. So if Angel Gomez can walk, talk, and chew gum at the same time, someone's going to take him, aren't they? Like, absolute daylight robbery that we've just done with Crystal Palace.
They're over the moon about it. He won 3 out of 17 duels the weekend, and they thought that was a good performance.
I'd have drove him there myself.
Yeah, I mean, that was good business. Speaking of, we're mentioning the price that JSL went for. Agbadu officially out the door for 15.6 million plus 2 million pounds, which sounds like they're easily achievable. And then my favorite was John Arias going for 22 million pounds to back to Brazil, which is a 7 million pound profit off of somebody who had 1 goal in 23 games. That's
it's pretty damn good.
Unbelievable business.
Now, Danny, do you think those funds are going to be used to improve the team next year, or are those just going to be, we're holding this because we know we're about to lose a boatload of money being relegated?
God, I hope it's the former. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I had a little conversation with someone on Twitter. Actually, someone from across the pond who was coming over to watch. Was coming over for unrelated reasons, looking for a group to watch with while he's here, and was really high on the fact that, oh, they're going to really make a fist of it. They're going to put the money back in and whatever. And I said, I don't think that you're wrong that they will want to get back up and that they may or may not, spend a ton of money to try to do so. My concern, as always, has been, do we have the recruiting and scouting infrastructure to do it? I don't disbelief that that Fosun are willing to throw amounts of money that would make all of us blush at a problem and try to make it better. Just don't know that they will. So I guess a provisional yes, they will, but whether we will see it as worthwhile after the fact, I don't know.
I think what I'm starting to think, Ryan, is that Fosun is going to throw a lot of money to try and get us back into the Premier League because they are going to have the parachute payments as well. But I think if they don't get back that first season, then they are going to tear it down hardcore and just try and build with youth and whatnot. I think this is going to be we got one chance to get back to the EPL, and if it doesn't happen, we're going to be in the championship for a long time.
I mean, maybe. I mean, the one season that we had with Nuno in the championship, they spent plenty of money, didn't they? And it didn't take us long to get out of it then. But I see your point, and I have thought about that myself. That if we don't go up the first season, it's certainly going to be more difficult. Obviously, we have the parachute payments for 3 years, right? But it goes down substantially after the first year, and then the third year is a lot less. But yeah, if we don't bounce back straight away, I think we could get stuck for sure. And you've seen it before. We've seen it so many times with other clubs, haven't we? And we've also done it where we've gone down and gone down again. So like it's something that it's relatively fresh that we've done over the last 10 years. So I think they have to throw money at it, but they've also got to be careful that they don't get in a Leicester situation where Leicester did the same thing. They went down, threw money at it, got back in the Premier League, and now they're getting points deducted. Now they're relegated in the Championship. So it's got to be smart, but we also haven't spent much money over the last 5 years. So we shouldn't be in that much trouble of financial stuff, you wouldn't think.
Now that the goober's gone.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan, before we close up this game, if Wolves play like this for the rest of the season, they're going to finish with less points than that Derby record season, right?
That's literally the only thing that I can't. That's the only reason people in the world know Derby is because they were the worst team ever. I don't want to be known as the worst team to ever play in the Premier League. Just give me 12 points now and write the season off. I'm okay with that.
It's bad enough that Wolves start at the bottom of the table every year, just alphabetically.
Yeah. Just constantly stuck there. No, I remember that Derby team and I listen to Robbie Savage on every weekend on his show, and he gets killed every single week for being the captain of the worst team ever to play in the Premier League, and he's dying for someone to take that. Like, he was rooting for Southampton to be that team last year, and I'm sure he's rooting for us to be that this year. But if we finish with 12 points and end the season now, I'll be quite happy with that.
See, talent-wise, I remember that Southampton team from last year. That was an awful team. And
yeah, we've just bought one of them. We've just bought one of them to play up front for us.
Good job. But it was a good window. That's what Jeff Shee said. It was a good window.
Great window.
Yeah. Well, guys, the Super Bowl was yesterday as of recording this because we're recording on Monday. And obviously the halftime show, big deal, big talking point around the world. Halftime shows just in general with sporting events in the United States are a big deal. And Danny, I think you can agree with the World Cup in America, there will be a halftime show at the final, won't there?
I really don't want there to be. I just want to put it
but
out
there's
there.
Gonna be.
As we start this conversation, I really prize the online personality that I've cultivated, which is not a fabrication. It's my own genuine thoughts, nothing superficial here. And I have indeed been called one of the good ones in relationship to other Americans. Take that for whatever you will. So I just want to put out my bona fides there that I am not a fan of the weird Super Bowlification of the Champions League and the World Cup and everything that Infantino is doing. He's a complete crook. FIFA might be like the most corrupt organization, and that includes the mafia. So,
might be.
So, yes, there probably will be one because Infantino is going to find another way to grift, $1 billion into his own pocket for it. So, yeah.
I will say,
100% there will be a halftime show or
Yeah.
something equally irritating.
I will say that Lincoln Park opening for the Champions League final was a fantastic show. But that was before. This will probably be halftime. Ryan, what are your thoughts on a likely halftime show at the World Cup final?
I hope not. I hope not.
Get ready, it's happening.
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, that someone's just offered FIFA like X amount of money, and they're just going, okay, that's fine. Yeah, no worries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope not, but it's gonna happen, right? And it's in America, so it's showbiz. So
Yep.
they want to.
I mean, we had the Village People playing at the draw.
Sure did, yeah.
The most absurd thing.
Sure did.
I mean, if Infantino's trying to still glaze Trump, it could be the Village People again. I don't know that he knows another song, so
yeah. So what's funny is if he wasn't trying to glaze Trump, which is a big if. What's ironic is Bad Bunny actually would have been a fantastic selection for a World Cup final, right?
Yep.
But he's probably out of it, out of the running for it. So Danny, if you have to have a halftime show, who do you think or would you like to see perform?
There's no real good answer to this, but I'll just go with a fun one, which is could do a Wyclef Jean or reuniting the Fugees, and in the off chance that there's a miracle and Haiti make it to the final, even though they haven't been to a World Cup since the 70s.
We're getting some good ones. Mr. Joey Brains online said ABBA.
That's a decent shout.
That's a decent shout, yeah.
How old are
they? Now, keep in mind, Lincoln Park was the opener for Champions League. Ryan, who would you like to see?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's an interesting question
because I know you guys don't like this whole idea.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like YMCA. Like, honestly, I swear to God, that might have been the little teaser in the draw to be like, oh my God, it's YMCA for the draw, and then they turn up at the final as well. It honestly would not surprise me. Trump in the middle doing his dance while they're doing it as well. But whoever it is, that I don't know, they've got to make sure they've got all their visas sorted, so they might not even be allowed in the country. So
the problem is, I keep thinking of possibilities, and then I think they would just immediately reject them because an American audience just might not care or even know who they are, like Oasis or something. Just they've reunited, and it's then it's the average American, especially the average American that tunes into the World Cup, because that's very different than the group of people listening to this podcast, or even your average viewer for, Liverpool, Man City this past weekend. That is a very different kind of American than the American watching the World Cup final. Yeah. And I don't know that American particularly cares if Oasis is playing at the World Cup.
One that I thought would be an obvious choice, but I don't think it'll happen because, again, the glazing of Trump. Taylor Swift would make a ton of sense just to draw in people. However, because Trump hates her so much, I don't see that happening. So that brings me to who I predict it will be, and that is Miss Hips Don't Lie herself, Shakira.
It's a safe choice.
Could be.
Yeah, I feel like I could get down.
She's done a World Cup theme song in the past.
Yeah. If we get enough people to listen to this, then maybe we can get Robert Plant to go over and just do the.
So that's my second question here. If Wolves just up and decided to have a halftime show, other than a pure riot that would happen beforehand, right? But let's say it goes on. Wolves have a halftime show, and Robert Plant is not allowed to be the person who sings. Who is the halftime show, Ryan?
Well, our only other famous one is Beverly Knight. She would have to do it. She's she's famous. Yeah. Famous Wolves fan that could potentially do it, but I don't know. That'd be an interesting one. Rod Stewart did a concert at Molyneux before, so that could potentially be one. He could come back and do it again.
Okay, those are solid choices, Danny.
I remember, I think it was the fan cast had someone from the band Reef on once because the lead singer is a big fan.
Yeah. That's right.
And I think they have the right sound for kind of just like, I don't want to call them generic. I actually quite like their music, but like kind of general audience, like it's nothing too out there. And I think people would get down with it.
That was also played at the Molyneux for years. That was played there for a long time. So
yeah, so that'd be the obvious choice for me, unless Tito wants to come out with a Jackson 1 or something.
Now it would be funny if Jeff was still in charge because he would probably try and bring Psy just for those Korean viewers.
Yeah,
K-pop demon hunters there.
Yeah. So let us know on Twitter who you think would make a good halftime World Cup show, because it's going to happen. Just embrace it, guys. This is very going to be Americanized. We've already seen it. Twitter is just going to be ablaze this whole tournament with people dunking on the U.S. And that's going to happen again during the final. Okay. Well, let's look at Wolves' next chance to hopefully get points to avoid that Derby record. And that is on Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central. Who knows? Fort Lauderdale time, 5:30. I don't know. It's Nottingham Forest versus Wolves. Now, the last time out, Forest lost 3-1 at Leeds. So they sit in 17th place, just 3 points above West Ham. So it's a big game for them in their survival. Ryan, how do you feel heading into that matchup?
I mean, Deutsch is on the brink. Like they're not happy, are they? So they're doing well in Europe, but they're not happy with their league form. So I feel like we could be the Grim Reaper for a few teams this year. That if we end up beating them, they're just going to sack their manager. So if we beat Forest, he'll be gone.
If I'm going down, you're going with me.
Yeah, and honestly, you can see like survival shoots with West Ham with Nuno. Nuno just needs a little bit of time, and I can see them catching Forest. And if Forest, I'd love Forest to go down. By the way, I'd much rather Forest to go down. But I can honestly getting something from Forest this weekend because they're in a bad place. And the last thing, just thinking of like being a team that we've been at Forest for so many years. The last thing you want when you're in that situation is the team that's bottom of the league coming to your grounds or coming to play you, and you're not, and that they haven't won a game or they've won one game all season. That's the last thing that you want is the crap team coming to beat you.
Mm-hmm. Danny, do you think Forrest regrets letting Nuno go?
I mean, it's kind of like asking, about Jeff Shee's decisions. The owner of Forest is as crazy, if not more crazy, than Jeff Shee.
I think he's more crazy because he's more out there. At least Jeff was more sneaky dirty.
I don't know. As soon as he published,
stupid.
Yeah, as soon as he published that article in the Express and Star with all the three-body problem quotes, I think that was when the dam broke in terms of his insanity. And so, to answer your question, I don't think that Marinakis is like capable of regretting such a decision. I'm sure that the Forest fans wish that they were. I don't know, like. It's hard to look at like what West Ham is doing and say, oh, we definitely want Nuno back. But at the same time, I mean, like, I think if you've watched Nuno's teams up close as they have and as we have, you have to feel like, well, at least there's some solidity there. And like, we might have had a bad season, and it might have been horribly boring, but at least we wouldn't be in as much trouble. So yeah, I guess probably there's a contingent of fans who wish that it had not been so. It's crazy to think. I mean, from being a team that scraped by to stay up to being a team that was like flirting with Champions League places for a while under Nuno, and now like the complete opposite, the whiplash that they must be feeling. I don't know if I envy them, even having just endured 5 to 6 years of decline.
Wow. It's wild. Ryan, back to a back 3, back 5 this weekend?
Well, we can't play with the back
Or it's
four
on
ever.
Wednesday?
So yeah, we could play with the back 9, to be fair, and it will be a back 4, back 3. Sorry, it's going to have to be, because we are totally incapable of playing. We're playing with a back 4, so yeah, it's and you kind of. You've got to match up to how they're going to play, because we're going to need 3 centre halves, because Sean Dyche ball is lump it forward, so you're going to need bodies around. So it's going to have to be a back 3.
Danny, what changes do you want to see in the starting 11?
Oh, well, got a question in the chat just to that point. Yeah, I don't know. I think, like you said, sort of back to a back 3. I think part of the reason is not so much because it's necessarily way more defensively solid, but more that, like, for a team that lacks the ability to progress the ball meaningfully in a lot of places, not having Krejci in, I think limits you in a lot of ways. I think, Yerson and Santi both have adequate to good qualities, but neither of them are particularly progressive. And so it may seem like kind of negative, but having another person who can progress the ball probably helps our chances.
So
at the
not
other
Huang
end.
or Chichua.
No. Well, and it looks like Huang might be out of the firing line because he came off injured. So I'm going to expect that he's probably out of this game at least, even if it's kind of a nothing injury. I imagine he won't be risked. But yeah, I think otherwise, I think kind of back to what we had been playing, and with a pairing up front of probably Tolu and Armstrong instead of Tolu and Mane. I mean, I said this kind of when we started getting linked with Armstrong and when he finally came in, that I think one of the best things he could do for this season is to give some cover to Mane, so he's not having to play every single game and also be every piece of creativity that we have. So I think, another run out for Angel Gomez again, like, oh my God, we didn't get to this, but like how we've just been completely starved this season and before for any kind of creative midfielder who is like a kind of replace. Like, it's so funny to put him in the same category, but like, some kind of successor to Neves and Moutinho. We used to have a midfield that could literally do anything in terms of moving the ball around and progressing it and getting it forward in different kinds of ways. And now we had nothing. And now we have one player who like is like mildly capable of doing that. And we all feel like, we've seen Jesus. So he probably needs to start. But yeah, I think otherwise it's kind of back to basics for Rob, because, obviously there aren't really must-win games anymore, because the season's pretty much over. But I do think that there's something to be said about Rob Edwards needs to go into the next season not like looking like he can get us promoted. I know that the club have kind of said in various ways that he's going to be the manager next season, but I think that that's far from guaranteed. If we lose every game between now and the end of the season, they're just like, you can't do it. You can't keep him in. And so this is just one of those games where it's like, yeah, it's away, but you have to show something. You have to look capable at least of winning this game.
Angel Gomez being able to go forward is like when you're at the bar and, you've kind of struck out a few times and then you've had about, quarter dozen and it's getting to be late in the night and you go, it could be a 7 or an 8 for the night.
I've heard this metaphor before.
It's a good metaphor. So let's look at predictions for this game. Alex said this will be a 1-1 draw. What say you, Ryan?
I'm gonna go with, I think Wolves are gonna win 2-1.
2-1 Wolves. All right.
Yep.
Positivity tonight. Danny?
Yeah.
I would love to say that Wolves win. But this season it feels like that is just a way to get burned. So I'm going to probably take Alex's lead and go for 2-2.
2-2 draw.
I really hope that it's not like a fiery affair like it's been with Forest in the past, but that might be hoping too much.
By the way, I'm still in the lead with 19 points. Danny, you have 16. Alex has 11, and the guest spot has 10. Yeah, a draw seems pretty fitting with these teams. I'm very tempted to say, in fact, what the hell? I'm going to say it. 0-0, horrible watch of a draw.
Yes, great. Can't wait. Yes.
A clean sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, can't wait to get up for that one.
Yeah. And then Sunday, the early wake-up call for some of us, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 Central on ESPN Plus, if you got it. It is Grimsby Town versus Wolves in the FA Cup 4th round. It is the day after Valentine's Day, so Ryan, who should we be concerned about with having a late night the previous night on Valentine's Day, and why is it Rodrigo Gomez?
Yeah, that boy's got game. Have you seen his girlfriend? Oh my god.
Well, yeah, we saw it. We were at the match, right?
We
His
saw it.
wife
Yeah,
now.
yeah. He's doing well for himself. To be fair, good for him. Well done. Yeah, but yeah, we just can't do a Man United, can we? And go and lose on penalties against Grimsby. So we've got to go and try and. I mean, they're League Two. I mean, we can't go into it thinking we're inferior. I know we're not doing well this season, but they're still League Two. We've got to, like, what have we got to lose now in the league? Really, like, why not just go after it in the cup a little bit? And I'll take doing a Wigan and winning the World Cup and getting relegated. I'll take that. That's fine. I can live with that. I think we will beat them. I don't think it'll be pretty. I don't think we'll make it look easy. But we'll see. We'll see who turns up.
Yeah, Danny, do you anticipate a weaker lineup, or is Rob Edwards gonna just be like, got nothing to lose?
Sounds like a lot of what we said before the Shrewsbury game, and then that turned out to be a pretty good outing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he'll do, but I do think, again, kind of like I said about the Forest game, it's not really a must win, obviously, but like it kind of is in terms of just creating some kind of culture of winning at this club the best that you can. And like, we should have too much for Grimsby, even as bad as we've been. And so I think like putting out any kind of rotated lineup is kind of really asking to get beat, especially by a team that has beaten a Premier League team earlier this season. They've tasted blood. And although at the time, I think, Man United were pretty hapless, and they've since gotten better. I don't know that we're miles away from that right now. And so, I think Rob Edwards will hopefully be careful about that I think making a ton of changes is just kind of like asking to be put under pressure.
How many players have we actually got to rotate in? Like, we don't act. It's not like we have a massive squad, is it? Like, we don't have players to just bring in and play a weaker team.
Yeah, you'd imagine like Muller Wolf would come in, Chachua could come in.
Johnson will probably in goal.
Johnstone in the goal. And then you're talking about like Pedro Lima potentially starting. And then it's like, I don't know if we would consider this a weaker team, but kind of like the youth, like if Mane is in instead of Armstrong, if he's played midweek, that kind of thing. I don't know. That's, again, to your point, it's not really like weakening the team. They're all kind of the same. Like, we don't have like a second string. We just have like, we have like 15 to 17 players who are all kind of not that great.
Yeah.
I like what Belugatex 1354 says in the chat. He says, better to start strong and pull starters if in hand. We can't start light and scramble late. Completely agree. Get on top, and then if it's going well, then pull people instead of this. Oh, let's start shit. We're down or it's tied. Now we better throw everybody out, and gets to be a mess. Okay, predictions, Ryan.
I am gonna say I'm bringing positivity tonight. I think we're gonna go for it in the cup, and I think we're gonna win 4-1.
Ooh, 4-1.
Mm.
Nice.
Yep.
Alex said 2-0 Wolves. Danny?
I'll keep the positive vibes going, but only slightly, which is that I'll say we will win 3-1, but there will be a substantial portion of the game where it's tied 1-1.
I'm just so done with this season. I think it's gonna be a typical Wolves playing down to their competition. And I think they'll score fairly early and then just park the bus the rest of the time. And it's going to be a slog. And it's going to be a 1-0 Wolves win.
And then we get a podcast. We'll get a podcast trip to Wembley when we win the cup.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? All right. So it's that time of the show where you, the listener, could ask anything about the wonderful club that is Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wonderful, somewhat subjective these days, but we all still love it. You can email us at wholelottofwolves@gmail.com or reach us on X/Twitter at WLWpod. If you're watching on the live stream, feel free to drop a question in the chat and we'll try to take them as they come. First question from New England Wolves, who are at Western MA Wolves, which are not Ryan, or the account is not run by Ryan. So to be clear, the Premier League genie will grant Wolves 3 wishes, but you can't wish for points and you can't wish to avoid relegation. How are you using your 3 wishes to fix a last place team? Josh?
It's such a good question. It's such a good question. I mean, the obviously with Jeff gone, if Jeff wasn't here, that would have been all 3 wishes. Like, here, I'll take them all to get rid of him. I would think the first one would be Fosun sells to somebody who's going to invest. Not just sell. They have to sell to somebody who invests. Second one would be, and I'm going to count this as 1 wish. I want Tolu and Mane and Angel Gomez sticking with us in that first championship season. And the third wish, it's because I'm a caring guy. But watching those poor people wearing the ponchos getting soaked in that corner of Molyneux, my third wish is that they can get a roof on the uncovered fans at Molyneux.
Good one, Josh. Ryan, got any wishes?
I'll take one to bring Neves back.
Ooh.
I'll take one to bring Steve Bull back in his prime. And then I'll take one to rebuild the Steve Bull stand. Is that all right? Can I take those?
That's a good one. Yeah. See, I don't even think Prime Adama could save us. So
No. If we can get them prime, they're not going to keep us up, but if we can keep them for a couple of years, they might get us back up.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know that I have much more to add on that. I think it felt like almost the ownership thing goes without saying. I mean, obviously, you'd wish that there's some unicorn ownership out there that's going to deeply care about the club and, be fiscally responsible while also having lots of ambition. But, they're few and far between in just sport in general, not just football. So I don't know how fair it is to wish for that, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can hope that we can wish that Nathan Shee is far less insane than his namesake, and that he will at least be a pragmatic operator for next season. And the only thing I'd add is, I guess, in line with the sort of bringing Neves back, and I'll be maybe a bit more realistic, is just bringing in some leaders. I wish that we had done that in January. I get that it's hard to bring in like people who are going to be leaders for a championship season while you're just sitting around waiting to be relegated. But to me, that's got to be a big priority in the summer, is figuring out who the leaders are for next season. And if they're not in the squad, then you got to bring them in. All right. And that was our only question this week. But you can always drop us a line at wholelottofwolves@gmail.com. Of course, you can also DM us on Twitter. You can tweet at me or Josh. We'll get to you some way. But Josh, let us know what is our Paramount Plus watch of the week, since we're all rapidly signing up for that streaming service.
That's right. Have you watched Tropic Thunder yet, Danny?
I have not. I'm going to say it. It might not happen. We'll see. Before the end of the season, probably.
I just
Ryan,
want to say,
can you believe he has not seen it?
Neither have I. Sorry. And I listened to the podcast, and I was like, I've got to watch it, and just
I'm
haven't.
so disappointed.
I'm so sorry.
It's such a good movie. Well, this week's Paramount Plus Watch of the Week, in honor of Scream 7, which tickets went on sale today, and it is coming out February 27th. I bought my tickets opening night for me and my daughter today. But the entire Scream franchise, that's right, Screams 1 through 6 are on Paramount Plus. There's some good ones in there. There's a couple not so good ones. But this one, Scream 7 coming up. There is going to be a lot of callback to the first couple. Stu Macher's going to be back in it. So be sure and get caught up before going to Scream 7 and watching the first 6 Scream movies.
If you would ask
Danny,
me,
have you seen any of the Scream movies?
I saw the original, probably not in theaters, but around the time that it came out.
Did you even know there were 6?
Yeah, exactly. If you had asked me how many movies there were in the Scream franchise, I probably would have gone with 4, maybe 5. So you'll have to tell me, how many twists are there? Is there like a scenario in which the girl who at Home Alone actually ends up being the bad guy or something? Like,
no, there's always, it's ending up like, hey, you were this
or the knife ends up being the hero
brother.
somehow.
It's straight up like Spaceballs, where when he's facing Dark Helmet and he's like, "Who are you?" "I'm your brother's nephew's roommate's cousin." "What does that make us?" "No relation whatsoever."
All right. Well, I'm not looking forward to watching the Scream franchise, but who knows? It might be a nice break from whatever Wolves are serving up. All right. We're about to wrap up, so we want to say thank you to Ryan Gray for joining us, of course, from New England Wolves. So, Ryan, care to let the listeners know where you can be reached, or New England Wolves for that matter, and where you guys meet up?
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually had some really good meetups the last few weeks. We did have a bar that was going to host us, and then unfortunately that fell through. But we've kind of resorted to going around people's houses now. So we've got a few people with some cool basement issues going on. So
All right.
we've kind of gone round to that. So just a big shout out to the Froome family that have had us come round, and Jonah has hosted past weekend as well. So we're mostly active on Facebook, on the New England Wolves Facebook page. That's where we kind of get all of our stuff together. But you can also message me on Facebook, or you can message me on Instagram as well, and just at Ryan Gray 26 on Instagram, if you want to jump on. Surprisingly, we've got quite a lot of Wolves fans in Rhode Island, which blows my mind, quite frankly. So yeah, if you want to come for a watch along, they're always fun, and we always have a good time. So
And we definitely need the other New England Wolves on Twitter to reach out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Matt. Matt does a good job with his AI stuff on the Facebook page. So I have a very good feeling it's Matt. I'm not really on Twitter very much, but yeah, Matt does a good job with posting.
Probably for the best these days.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And just to add on to that, just want to put it out there that if you're involved in a local Wolves supporters group in North America, we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line. Obviously, you can email us at wholelotofwolves@gmail.com. You can DM any one of us, whatever, so we can let folks know where you are and when you meet up, or just to chat. Let us know where you're at. So we will be back next week live on Monday evening to review whatever happens against Forest and Grimsby and look ahead to Arsenal and Palace. So that'll be a packed show. Might be talking about 4 different games. You'd be doing us a huge favor, of course, and helping grow a whole lot of Wolves by giving us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Hit the like button on YouTube, subscribe to our channels wherever you see us, all that good stuff. that you've heard a million times. And finally, as you start to thaw out this week, you can say, to keep yourself warm, hopefully, up the mighty Wolves.